Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Namaste everyone. I am Mahalakshmi from International Institute of Vedic Sciences, Rishivatika. I welcome all the enthusiasts of Vedic sciences and Sanatana Dharma who have joined us live on Rishivatika YouTube channel today. Let us start this session with a short prayer. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Today we have with us Dr. Subbarao Jayanti, the speaker of the day. I welcome him to give a talk on Guru-Shishya relationship. This is the 42nd talk in Dr. Vedavyas Memorial online lecture series being conducted by International Institute of Vedic Sciences, Rishivatika. Dr. Subbarao Jayanti is a professor and head of School of Contemporary Knowledge Systems at Chinmaya Vishwavidyapeeth, Veliyanad, Kerala, and he hails from a family of great Vedic scholars, Amnaya Saraswati. Brahmasri Uppuluri Ganapati Sastry garu was his maternal grandfather. He has a Ph.D. in finance from Louisiana State University, Baton Rouge, USA. He taught at Louisiana State University, Cleveland State University, and other popular universities. He published research papers on finance and banking in international journals and presented papers in various conferences. His areas of interest are banking, international finance, investment analysis, and corporate finance. He has an extensive consulting experience in USA, Germany, and France. Prior to PhD, he worked as a manager in State Bank and as an officer in Ministry of Finance, Government of India. He is presently involved in studying the relevance of ancient Indian wisdom, particularly Ramayana and Mahabharata, to modern day situations. He wrote a paper on Sri Adi Shankaracharya as management expert. Recently, he designed and taught a course, Sri Shankara Life and Achievements. He wrote several articles in Telugu and English in Rishipeetham, Saptagiri, Supata, and Shankara Kripa. An ardent lover of Sanskrit language, he passed the Kovida examination of Samskrita Bharati. Prior to joining Chinmaya Vishwavidyapeeth, he is actively involved with Samskrita Bharati USA in learning and teaching Sanskrit. Now I request Dr. Subbarao Garu to begin his talk.
सर्वेभ्यो नमः। शरदा शरदां भोजवदना वदनाम्बुजे सर्वदा सर्वदा अस्माकं सन्निधिः सन्निधिं क्रियात्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। So I thank the organizers for giving me the opportunity to talk on Guru-Shishya relationship. So as the sloka says, Guru Paramparam. Parampara means one coming after another. So starting from Sadashiva or Lord Vishnu, we have a unbroken chain of gurus. So this Guru-Shishya relationship is one of the brilliant institutions developed by our rishis to transmit knowledge from one generation to another. So we have first a guru and shishya. So the guru transmits knowledge to the shishya. Then after gaining knowledge, the shishya becomes a guru and he transmits to his shishya. Like that, this chain goes on. So from time immemorial, this our country is known as Vishwaguru, that is the guru of the whole universe. And the name of our country is Bharat. Bha means knowledge, Rata means those who are interested in. So Bharatiyas means people who are interested in knowledge. So we as a nation, we are interested in knowledge, and to fulfill that goal, our Maharshis have created what is called Guru-Shishya relationship. Now, our Vedic culture is also known as Saraswati Civilization, and Saraswati is the goddess of knowledge. Saraswati means flow, that is flow of knowledge. Suppose water, flowing water is very pure, but if the water is stagnant, then it will be contaminated. Similarly, knowledge should flow. It should not be stagnant with one person. That's why this transmission of knowledge is a Saraswati. Transmission of knowledge from one generation to another generation is Saraswati. That's why we worship Saraswati as the goddess of knowledge. So, as you know, Guru means one who moves the student from ajnana or darkness or ignorance to jnana or knowledge. That is the meaning of Guru. So in our scriptures, there are many stories depicting the Guru-Shishya relationship. There are some beautiful stories in Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavata and other scriptures. So in this talk, I will narrate a few stories depicting this relationship. And in that process, we examine who is an Uttama Guru, who is a good Shishya, who is a bad Shishya, and what lessons we can learn from these stories to our modern times. What is the relevance of those stories to our modern times? That is the purpose of this talk. So the first story is Sukracharya and Kacha. This is from Mahabharata, Adiparva of Mahabharata. So Brahaspati was the guru of the Devas, and Sukracharya was the guru of the Asuras or Rakshasas. There was constant warfare going on between Devas and Asuras. And when the Asuras were killed, Sukracharya was reviving them with his knowledge of what is called Sanjivani Vidya. So Sanjivani means the ability to revive the dead people. So he possessed that knowledge. But Brahaspati does not have that knowledge. So the Devas were at a competitive disadvantage in this fight. So they somehow want this knowledge to be brought to the Devas. So they approached Kacha, the son of Brahaspati, and told him, you go to Sukracharya, serve him and gain the knowledge of Sanjivani. Now, Kacha is a handsome young man, and this task is very difficult because he is going right into the den of the enemies, and you don't know how they treat him, and he is all alone. But still, he undertook the task for the sake of the community, for the benefit of the community. He undertook the task. In this task, he is not going to gain anything personal. Whether he learns Sanjivani Vidya or not, it doesn't make any difference to him. But still, he accepted the challenge for the sake of the community. So he goes to Sukracharya and introduces himself in two slokas. These are from the Mahabharata. Rushe Angirasaha Pautram Putram Sakshat Brahaspatehi Namna Kachamiti Khyatam Sishyam Guhnatu Mam Bhavan. Reverend Sir, I am the grandson of Angirasa Rishi and son of Brahaspati. My name is Kacha. Please accept me as your Sishya. The second sloka is Brahmacharyam Charishyami Tvayaham paramam gurau anumanyasya mam brahman sahasram parivatsaram. Accepting you as my parama guru, I shall practice brahmacharya for 1,000 years. Hence command me. So this is how Kacha introduces himself to Sukracharya. If you examine this, he just spoke only 2 slokas, very brief introduction. Because Sukracharya is a very busy person. He cannot listen stories from Kacha. So it should be very brief, to the point, and relevant. And in the very first sentence, he tells Sukracharya about his lineage, who is his grandfather and who is his father. And then he tells his name. My name is Kacha. And then he says, I want to be your Shishya. In the second sloka, he says, I will practice brahmacharya. Now, why he has to tell this? Because Sukracharya has a teenage daughter called Devayani, and Sukracharya is very fond of her. So, when a handsome young person like Kacha comes, Sukracharya will hesitate to take him. So, in order to prevent that upfront, before even Sukracharya tells his objection, Kacha says that I will practice brahmacharya, meaning that you need not be afraid of me about your daughter. That is the assurance that he wants to give to Sukracharya. So this kind of the introduction that Kacha gives to Sukracharya is what is a lesson in communication skills, how to talk to a guru. Now he is very brief and he's told what he wants to tell, and he was very humble and very truthful. And also he addresses the Guru as Paramam Guru and Brahman. So most respectful terms he uses for the Guru. So Sukracharya was immensely pleased with the truthfulness, humility, and the promise of brahmacharya. So he took Kacha as his Shishya. Now here you have to see the greatness of Sukracharya also here. So Sukracharya knows that Kacha was the son of his rival Brahaspati, and he knows why he came to take the Sanjeevani Vidya. But still he accepted him as his Shishya because he was pleased with the manners, truthfulness, and behavior of Kacha. So that is the hallmark of a true Guru. So Sukracharya accepted him as his Shishya, and Kacha was serving him with all respect and humility. And he was also very friendly with Devayani. So he was pleasing her with his dance, music, and singing, all those things. So Devayani and Kacha were moving like friends. But Kacha never crossed the line and he practiced brahmacharya as he promised to his guru. So this is again a lesson for our youngsters in high schools and colleges. As long as they are students, they should practice brahmacharya. Their main focus should be on education, and they should not indulge in like love affairs and other things. So that is how the Kacha and Devayani behaved. They never crossed the line. They were friends, but they were within the limits. So while Kacha was serving like that, the Danavas came to know why he came to Sukracharya. So they want to preserve their secret of Sanjeevani. They want to safeguard their secret. So one day when Kacha was alone, they killed Kacha. And so Devayani, when Kacha did not come back in the evening, Devayani was very sorry and she approached her father and said, what happened to Kacha? He didn't come back, although it is evening. So Shukracharya looked with his Divya Drushti, and he saw that he was killed. So using his Sanjeevani, he brought back Kacha to life. So on another occasion, they killed again and threw him in the ocean. Again, Devayani pleaded with Shukracharya, and Shukracharya brought him back with Sanjeevani. On a third occasion, the Danavas killed Kacha again and make him into ashes, burnt him to ashes, and mixed that ashes with wine and gave it to Shukracharya. And Shukracharya, he did not know, so he drank that wine. And then Kacha did not come back, and Devyani again pleaded with her father. So now Shukracharya found that Kacha was in his stomach. Now there is a dilemma. If Shukracharya makes Kacha alive, then he has to come back, he has to come out through his stomach, breaking his stomach. Then Shukracharya will be dead. So he was in a dilemma. So he tells Kacha that I will give you the knowledge of Sanjeevani, the Sanjeevani mantra. Return to life as my son, then bring me back to life after I leave the body. When you emerge from my stomach, act in accordance with dharma. This is exactly what Shukracharya said. So he gave the Sanjeevani mantra to Kacha, and Kacha becomes alive and he comes out of Shukracharya's stomach. Then Shukracharya fell dead. Now, here Kacha, see the situation. Kacha has achieved his objectives. He got the Sanjeevani Vidya, and also the Guru was dead. The Guru, who is the Guru of rivals, Deva's rivals, is dead. So he achieved the two objectives. If it is any other person, he would just leave, leaving Shukracharya dead. But Kacha was not like that. He always followed Dharma. So when he saw the Guru lying like that, he says he was so moved by that sight. He says, I regard him who pours Jnanamrita into one's ears as my father and mother. He who has gratitude can never harm his Guru. Guru is the most precious of all precious objects. Those having acquired knowledge from Guru and then injure their Guru, they go to Papaloka. These are the words used by Kacha. So see how he respected his Guru. And these are the lessons we have to teach our students, even in modern days, how to respect a Guru. So Kacha promptly used Mrata Sanjeevani, that Sanjeevani Vidya, and brought Shukracharya back to life. So that is his dharma. Then after some time, Shukracharya permitted Kacha to leave to his place. So when he told Devayani that he is leaving, she told him that I love you and please marry me. Kacha said, this is not proper, this is not dharma, because I came out of your father's stomach and also he is my guru, he is like my father. So you are like my sister, so I cannot marry you. And Devayani was very upset and she gives him a curse, and the story ends there. So Kacha goes away. So this is a very beautiful story, one of the most beautiful stories in Mahabharata. And it tells so many, you can learn so many lessons from it. If we analyze carefully each word and each scene, there are a lot of lessons to be learned. In this case, Kacha behaved like an ideal student, a good student. He was very respectful, very truthful, and he served his guru. And in that process, he got the affection of the guru and he achieved the object for which he came. So, this is how a good student should behave. And all this he has done for the benefit of the community. Now, let's move on to the second story. It is about Pursurama and Karna. This story is described in the Shanti Parva of Mahabharata. Now, Karna and Arjuna and Kauravas and Pandavas, they all learnt Dhanurveda from Dronacharya. So, Dronacharya was very fond of Arjuna because of his dedication, commitment, Guru Bhakti, and all those. So, one day he gave him the Brahmastra, the ultimate weapon. Karna came to know of this. Now, Karna's life is all guided by his rivalry to Arjuna. If you see Mahabharata, his rivalry to Arjuna. He wants to beat Arjuna, he wants to excel Arjuna. That is his life's goal. So, when he came to know that Dronacharya gave him Brahmastra, Karna approached Drona privately one day and tells him these two slokas. Brahmastram vettumichhami sa rahasya nivartanam Arjunena samam chaham yudhyayamiti me matihi. I desire to master the Brahmastra with all its secrets, for I wish to fight Arjuna. This is the first sloka he said. And in the second sloka he says, Samaha sishyeshu vaha snehaha putre chaiva tatha dhruvam tvat prasadanamam Bruyu Rakkudatastram Vichakshanaha. You should treat all your Sishyas equal like you have your own son. By your favor, I will be considered as one accomplished in all weapons. So these are these two slokas that Karna said to Dronacharya. So if you observe this, in the very first sentence, he says, I want to get Brahmastra with all its secrets. Now, see how he approached his guru in contrast to Kacha. And he says, I want Brahmastra. And Brahmastra is a very powerful weapon. And it cannot be given to anybody just like that. And he says, I want the Brahmastra with all its secrets. And then he says, why he wants Brahmastra? Because he wants to be equal to Arjuna and he wants to fight Arjuna. That's why he wants Brahmastra. Now, if you see, Dronacharya is very fond of Arjuna. And when you say that I want to fight with your Shishya, which guru will give that Brahmastra? Isn't it? Nobody will give. And then in the second sloka, he says, he teaches Guru how to treat his Sishyas. He says, you should treat all your Sishyas equal to your son. And he is teaching lessons to the Guru. And then he says, for what purpose he wants Brahmastra? Because by acquiring Brahmastra, I will be considered as the greatest warrior. So this is how he talked to his Guru. Now, if you compare this with the previous example of Kacha, now Kacha wanted Sanjeevani for the benefit of the community, not for himself. Whereas Karna wanted Brahmastra for his personal glory, to settle scores with Arjuna. And then Kacha addressed Sukracharya as Paramaguru, Brahman, and with those respectful words. Whereas in these two slokas, Karna never addressed Drona in any term. So this is again a lesson in communication skills. How not to talk to a guru, how you should not talk to a guru. This is the lesson we take from these two slokas of Karna. So obviously, Drona promptly refused. He said, I cannot teach you Brahmastra. So Karna goes away, and he goes away to Pursurama, and he tells Pursurama that I am a Brahmin of Bhrugu dynasty. So Pursurama believes him and takes him as his Shishya. And Karna was serving his guru with devotion. And one day, while Karna was walking around and practicing Dhanurvidya, he inadvertently killed the Homadhenu of a Brahmin. It is by mistake. And then the Brahmin got very angry with Karna, and he gave him a curse. The curse is, while fighting your bitter enemy, the earth will entangle the wheel of your chariot. Then he will cut off your head. So that means your chariot will be stuck in the earth, and then your enemy will kill you. So then Karna comes back to Parshurama and serves him. And Parshurama was very pleased with Karna's devotion, and he teaches him Brahmastra and other astras with all the secrets. So one day what happened is, while Parshurama was very tired and he was sleeping, resting on the thigh of Karna. So one dreadful worm began to pierce Karna's thigh. So Karna endured the pain because he does not want to disturb his guru from sleeping. And then the blood started flowing, and it touched Parshurama's head, and he woke up. He saw the blood and all that. So he asked him, what is this? And he said, a Brahmin cannot endure so much pain. Tell me the truth. Then Karna has to tell the truth. He says, I am a Suta, and I lied to you to get the Brahmastra. Then Parshurama got very angry, and he gives him a curse that whatever, because you have cheated me and you have learnt the Vidya through manipulation and cheating and lies, this will not be of no use when you need it. So you will forget whatever you learnt when in time of need. And then he says, go away. This is not the place for a liar. So Karna comes back, and in this story tells you how not to be a good student. See, Karna behaves like a bad student. He told lies, and in that process, he got two curses, and which led to his ultimate defeat and death in the hands of Arjuna in the Mahabharata battle. So the lesson to be learned here is that if you acquire knowledge through wrong means or cheating or fraud, deceit, that will not be of use to you. So this is a lesson for students who try somehow pass the exams or get the degrees by mass copying or cheating or any other means. That kind of knowledge or the degrees or education acquired will not be of any use to them. That is the lesson you have to learn from this episode. And then Karna comes back and he tells Duryodhana that I have learned all the astras. So again he lied to Duryodhana. He did not tell about the two curses. So Duryodhana believed him, and he thought Karna is now equal to Arjuna. So had Karna told Duryodhana about the curses, then it is probable that Duryodhana might not have ventured into Mahabharata war, because Duryodhana never trusted Bhishmacharya and Dronacharya. He was completely dependent on Karna, because he is his best friend, and he thought that Karna was equal to Arjuna and he can defeat Arjuna. With that confidence, he ventured into the Mahabharata war. So, if Karna had told the truth, the Mahabharata war could have been prevented. So, that is the consequence again of Karna's behavior. So, this is a lesson on how a bad student behaves and what are the consequences of cheating a guru. And the third story is Arjuna and Uttara. So this is from Virata Parva of Mahabharata. So the Pandavas, after spending 12 years in Aranyas, Vanavasa, they have to spend 1 year in disguise, Ajnatavasa. So they settled in the court of Virata, and Arjuna takes the disguise of Brahmanala. So he joins the court of the Antapura, and he was teaching dance, music, and other arts to Uttara, the daughter of Virata. So it was going on, and till when the end comes, then the Kauravas, they stole the cows of Virata, and Arjuna goes with Uttara Kumara to fight the Kauravas, and Arjuna reveals his true form. He conquers the Kauravas and brings back those cows, and the 1 year was over by that time, and the Pandavas disclosed their true form. So Virata was very pleased, and he offers Uttara, his daughter, in marriage to Arjuna. So he requests Arjuna to marry his daughter. Then Arjuna says, O king, dwelling in your Antapura, I observed your daughter. Whether in private or in public, she always used to confide in me as her father. Because of my skills in dancing and singing, she loved me. She always regards me as her Acharya Guru. I have been pure and in control of my senses. And he says, Arjuna, these words are very, very important. Arjuna says, she confided me all her secrets and she treated me as her father, as her guru. And a guru is like a father to the Sishyas. So I treated her as my daughter. And in our tradition, daughter and daughter-in-law are equivalent. They are same. So I accept your daughter as my daughter-in-law. So, Uttara was married to Abhimanyu, and here, if you see the behavior of Arjuna, he followed dharma, and he never misbehaved with Uttara, and he treated her as his daughter. Now, this is again a lesson for modern day teachers. Nowadays, we are hearing many stories of teachers misbehaving with girl students. And it is very sad that these things are happening in our high schools and colleges and universities. So, for those teachers, the story of Arjuna is a good lesson. How to treat the students. So, a good teacher, Uttama Guru, will treat the students as his children, as sons and daughters. So that is the lesson from this story. Now the next story is Sandhipani and Sri Krishna. So Sri Krishna and Balarama were sent to the ashram of Sandhipani, the Gurukula of Sandhipani in Avanti. So Sandhipani taught them all the Vidyas, the 64 Chatushashti Vidyas, diplomacy, warfare, and Vedas, Vedangas, and all those things. And you may wonder why Sri Krishna has to go to a Gurukula and learn like any other common man. Similarly, Shankara Bhagavatpada also went to Govinda Bhagavatpada and learnt the lessons. So you may wonder why they should do. They are Jagat Gurus and they are incarnations of Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva. The reason is that when they come in a human form, they want to teach us, our the common people, how they should behave. So they want to set an example by their behavior. So Krishna and Shankara Bhagavatpada are telling that you should serve, if you want a true knowledge, you should go to a good guru and serve him and learn the way. So that is the message that Sri Krishna is giving in this story. So after completing the education, Krishna and Balarama goes to Sandipani and asks him, what Guru Dakshina do you need? So again, this is the tradition in our Gurukula system is that the Guru did not charge any fee from the students. And he treats all the students in the same way. Whether it is a king's son or a poor man, they are all treated equally. So in Sandipani story also, Krishna and Balarama are kings. And Kuchela, who is a very, very poor Brahmin, also was in Sandipani ashram, and they were very good friends. So that is the system we had in the Gurukula system. And the teacher never charged any fee from the students. But after completing the education, it is the obligation of the student to give a Guru Dakshina. Then only the education is treated as completed. Now, Guru Dakshina, the norm is that the Shishya has to give Guru Dakshina according to his capacity. Yathasikti. Yathasikti. So, Yathasikti means, suppose a very poor student is there. If he gives 1 rupee or 5 rupees, that is enough. But for example, a billionaire is there, then he has to give millions. That is his Shakti. So that is the system we had. So when Krishna asked Sandipani what Guru Dakshina he wants, Sandipani hesitated for a moment. Then Krishna prodded him, you tell whatever you want, I will give. Then Sandipani said, my son, he went to Prabhas Tirtha for taking a bath and he was missing since then. Can you bring him back to me? So Krishna, he went to Yamaloka, he talked to Yama and brought the boy back to Sandipani. And the Guru was very pleased with him. So here, Krishna has given Guru Dakshina according to his capacity. So Krishna has divine powers. He is the incarnation of Lord Vishnu. And he has the capacity to bring a dead person from the Yamaloka alive. So he did that thing and according to his capacity. That is the capacity of Krishna. And he fulfilled his capacity and gave it as Guru Dakshina to Sandipani. And this story tells how much a capable Shishya can accomplish for a Guru. So if you have a good Shishya, then that is a great blessing for the Guru himself. That is the moral of this story. So the next story is Sri Adi Shankara and Totaka. So as you know, Shankara Bhagavad-pada has 4 prominent disciples. Among many disciples, 4 are very prominent. And one of them was Totakacharya. His pre-monastic name before sannyasa is Giri. So he was rendering selfless service to the master. He did not have much formal education, but he was very attentive to the Guru, and whatever the Guru was teaching, he was listening carefully and he was serving the Guru with utmost devotion. So one day what happened is Shankara, he wanted to start the class. All the Sishyas were there except Giri. So Giri he went to the Tunga river and he was washing the clothes of the Guru. So so Shankara was waiting and he was looking around hither and thither. And the other disciples became impatient and they asked Guruji, why you are waiting? What for are you waiting to start the lesson? Then Shankara said, I'm waiting for Giri to come. And the Sishya said, what difference it makes if Giri joins the class or not? Anyway, he is very dull and he cannot understand the lessons that you are teaching. Then Shankara, he was very moved and he thought for a moment. And what happened is a benign feeling of compassion emanated from the master's mind and enveloped the heart of Giri, soaking it with all his grace and blessings. So Giri, he finished the washing of the clothes. He came to Shankara and prostrated before him, and he started singing a beautiful hymn in praise of the master in Totaka Chandas. That is the famous Totaka Astakam in praise of Shankaracharya. And the other disciples were astounded looking at that. And they also observed a rare glow of spiritual enlightenment in the face of Giri. So now they understood that Giri had the rare privilege of obtaining the master's grace. So they understood what happened. And then Shankaracharya told the students that to develop Shraddha. So Shraddha means deep faith in the scriptures and in the Guru. So then only you can gain knowledge. If you have deep faith and respect for the Guru, then only you can learn the lessons. So later, Giri was initiated into sannyasa and Shankaracharya gave him the name Totaka, after the name of the chandas that he sang that hymn. And later, Shankaracharya established 4 Amnaya Peethams, and Giri and the Totakacharya was made the first Peethadipati of Jyotirmat, that is near Badari. So this story tells how a Guru's grace can completely transform a Sishya. And for gaining that grace, the Sishya should have utmost Shraddha in the Guru. So that is the lesson from this story. So to summarize, our ancient Mahabharata devised an excellent education system called the Guru-Shishya Parampara. And this is one of the most important institutions that our Maharshis have devised. And through that tradition, our Guru Parampara, our Guru-Shishya relationship, all the scriptures were transmitted from one generation to generation for thousands of years. And we have got all the scriptures, Vedas, Upanishads, and Ramayana and Mahabharata and other things in their purest form, although thousands of years have passed. This is a miracle, and in no other culture you will find this sort of thing. And this is because of the excellent Guru-Shishya relationship that our ancestors have developed. And we have seen, and this type of education system placed our country as Vishwaguru. And we produced gurus like Sukracharya, Dronacharya, Sandhipani, Shankar Bhagavatpada, and Sishyas like Kacha, Arjuna, and Sri Krishna. And but we lost that system. When the British introduced their education system, they destroyed the Gurukula system and introduced their system. So even after independence, we are following the Western model, especially American model of education. So in American education system, students are considered consumers. They are our customers because they are paying the fee, they are paying money, and they are our customers, which resulted into some undesirable practices like students evaluating professors, mass copying, frauds, and all kinds of things have entered into our education system. So, in the new education policy, NEP, recently released by the Government of India, we should focus on reviving our traditional Guru-Shishya Sambandha. The education system should aim at producing gurus like Vishwamitra, Sukracharya, Dronacharya, and Sandipani, and Shankar Bhagavatpada, and Sishyas like Sri Rama, Kacha, Arjuna, and Sri Krishna. So the education system should be devised to produce such gurus and such Sishyas. Then only we can revive the glory of Sanatana Dharma and make our country Vishwaguru again. As our Prime Minister often says, India should become Vishwaguru. We can achieve only through our ancient Guru-Shishya relationship. Thank you to all of you, and Subham Bhuya.
Thank you, Subbarao Garu, for the talk on Guru-Shishya relationship. Also, thank you for instilling knowledge in us with simple yet meaningful stories. For spiritual sadhaka, finding a guru with comprehensive knowledge and a scientific outlook and above orthodoxy attitude is a huge challenge, especially in today's time. Our Puja Guruji Dr. Vedavyasa was a synthesis of modern and ancient wisdom with a clear comprehension of today's spiritual and material requirements. Many of us are blessed and fortunate to have been in close proximity of a person, Dr. Vedavyasa, our Guru. I will close today's session with a small announcement with the upcoming talks this week. On September 29th, we have a talk on Kashmiri Shaivism by Vijayendra Kazi, and on September 27th, there is another talk by Sri Durga Prasad on the Law of Seven. Do join us for all the exciting talks. We would also like to thank all the audiences who have joined us live on Rishivatika YouTube channel and request everyone to subscribe to the channel for latest updates for the future talks as a part of this Dr. Vedavyas Memorial Online Lecture Series. Namaste.
Any questions?
There are no questions.
Okay.
So, thank you, Andy.
Thank you.